All right, welcome everybody. Let's do this. Let's introduce the idea of complex numbers and how do we add, subtract, and multiply them and do certain operations with them. So the idea of a complex number is it'll be in the form of a plus bi, where I is equal to the square root of minus 1. Here, the idea that we have I is equal to the square root of minus 1 is an imaginary number. We can't do it. If you want, grab your calculator real quick, right? And let's say if I tried to put in, how do I put in square root, right? Like, notice that in the baby blue over here, that if I hit second x squared, I get the radical symbol. And notice that if I take, hey, let's say the square root of 4, that's 2. If I take the square root of 9, that's 3. But let's say if I want to take the square root of negative 1, notice it's not possible. We can't do it. But why we need complex numbers, we'll do that in another lesson, but the game plan for today is how do we add, subtract, and multiply them. And this lesson is really not too bad. Like this page will be easy, the next page a little tricky. So let's take a look. Here, this is where you just trust your lovely mathematical skills that you've been developing throughout the year. Here it says 3 plus 4i plus 7 minus 20i. Notice, can I do anything in here with the 3 and the 4i? Can I combine these two terms together? No, I can't do anything. So then I bring it down over here. And now, note what is happening with this positive. You are multiplying a positive 1 on the inside, right? There's this invisible positive 1. And notice what's 1 times 7? That's just 7, right? What is 1 times negative 20i? It's just negative 20i. So notice everything kind of just stayed the same, right? It'll be a little bit different when we do this one. You see, notice how we have the same complex numbers. We have 3 plus 4i, 3 plus 4i, 7 minus 20i, 7 minus 20i. Here, same idea, the 3 plus 4i, we can't do anything. But now what happens with this minus on the outside? Here, we have a negative 1. So if I have negative 1 times 7, right, this will be negative 7. And then if I have negative 1 times the negative 20, this becomes a positive 20i, right? So notice how it just, here the sign, everything stayed the same. When I had the 7 minus 20i, it just stayed the same. But over here, what happened to the sign of the numbers on the inside? They changed, right? Because I had to distribute that negative 1. Now, once we get to this position, we're just going to combine the like terms, right? How many terms do you see? I see the 3, I see the 4i, the 7, and the negative 20i. And which ones can we combine together? The 3 and the 7, right? I could combine these two together. These are like terms. And then what else can I combine together? The 4i and the negative 20i. Right? So then what will this be? What happens if I add 3 plus 7? I could show it on the side over here if you want. What is 3 plus 7? Notice this is 10. And then what is 4i minus 20i? Right? This will be negative 16i. Right? Because all you're really doing on the calculator is you're just doing 4 minus 20. Right? And that is, is it hard to see? It's negative 16. Okay? And then that's it. We have successfully added two complex numbers and we put it in the form of a plus bi, right? This is my a and this is my bi. We always have the imaginary number on the right side. Okay? What about for here? Same idea. Which terms can we combine at this position? It's the 3 and the negative 7, right? If you want, pause the video real quick, and then just combine this on your own. How would I continue, right? How do I combine the terms and then put it into a complex number? So let's say you unpause the video. Here, 3 minus 7 is negative 4. 4i plus 20i is 24i. And voila, here we are. Okay. Now what I'd like you to do is, well, let's see. We're gonna do this example, and then I'm gonna let you try do these three on your own. Okay, multiplying complex numbers. Let's take a look. This is not too bad. So here, what we could do is we could write it again, because I realized I should have given you space. Now, what is the operation we're doing here? We're going to multiply. So here, how do we multiply two binomials? Let's remember the idea of, what is it, FOIL, right? First, outer, inner, last. What would be the first move? Notice that I'm going to go with this 3 times the 7i. I'm sorry, 3 times the 7, right? So here I can show that first. 3 times 7. This is my first move. If you want, pause the video and think, what would I do next, right? We've done this so much before in the past. It's been a minute though. Right? 3 times the 7. Then we also have to do what? 3 times what? 3 times negative 20i. What would be the third? And this would be, let's say, step 2. This is the second move. What would be the third move? It's going to be the 4i times 7. And what is the final move? It's the 4i times negative 20i. Okay, so now let's do each operation one by one. What would 3 times, and let me zoom in a little bit. What would 3 times 7 be? And don't be afraid to use your best friend. 3 times 7, this will be 21. What is 3 times negative 20i? This is negative 60i. 4i times 7 is positive 28i. Now this is the little tricky part. What is 4i times, notice, let's do this first. What's 4 times negative 20? That's negative 80, right? If I do the 4 times the negative 20. But then what is I times I? This will be I squared. Because notice there's that invisible 1. And let's say if I have like I times I, or even if you have something like, remember like if I have, what is x plus x? This is 2x. But if I have x times x, remember how there's that invisible 1? So that becomes x squared. So you treat I just like you treat x. Okay. But now how do we continue? Let's see. Can I combine any of the terms? Which terms can I combine? I can combine this one and this one. Right? And there's one little trick I need to show you. Here, if I is equal to the square root of minus 1, I squared will equal negative 1. Okay? And this I'm going to show in class. For now, or if you want, I could show you right now, but if you feel like you don't understand fully, I'll show this in class. So if I is equal to square root of minus 1, why is it that when you square it, it equals negative 1? Well, notice that if I have I squared, well, what's I equal to? I is equal to the square root of minus 1. And if I square it, what happens when I square the square root? It cancels. So I'm just left with negative 1. Okay? So now anywhere I see I squared, what do I want to do with it? I want to plug in negative 1. So then how will I continue? It'll be 21 minus 60i plus 28i minus 80. And then anytime I see anytime I see I squared, I'm going to substitute it with a negative 1. Alright? So then how do I continue? This will be 21. Now I can combine these two, right? I can combine the negative 60i plus 28i and take your time, use the calculator, use your beautiful mind of yours. What would this be? This will be negative 32i. And I'll notice this is plus 80, right? Because what's negative 80 times negative 1 is positive 80. So notice that we combined these two, we got here, and now which other two, yeah, let me just highlight this. We combined this one and this one, and then we could also combine which ones? We can combine the 21 and the 80. And notice what's 21 plus 80? This will be 101. And notice that I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do negative 32i plus 101. Why don't I want to have it like this? This is no bueno. I don't want it like this, because you want it in what form? You want it in the a plus bi. So you should actually have it as 101 minus 32i. Should look like this. And then we're done. Let's review. What did we do? Take a second, pause the video, and try and review the idea of what you did, right? What was the first thing we did? 3 times 7, here. 3 times negative 20, here. 4i times 7, here. 4i times the negative 20i is negative 80i squared. These two you're going to combine, they're like terms, and anytime you see the I squared, you replace it with negative 1, combine the like terms, and there is your complex number. What I'd like you to do is, I'll put the solutions on in the classroom, but you should be able to try these 3 on your own. Okay? Good luck. And then once you're done, part 2, I'll show you how to do a few of these on this page. Okay? Good luck.